Welcome back into another episode of George in the Jungle, coming at you live from the Cincy Light Studios, presented by Remington Tavern. Remington Tavern can be found at 8892 Glendale Milford Road, 45140, where they have their daily happy hour from 3 to 7 p.m., $5 bourbon whiskey Wednesdays, bottle cap bonanza Thursdays from 7 to 9 p.m. You can check them out on Instagram at RemyTavCincy. That's REMITAV Cincy with a Y, or follow them on Facebook. While you're there, grab yourself an ice cold Cincy Light on tap in a can, however you want it. They got it. Support the people who support us and have a good time doing it. George?
Aaron, how are you? Did you have a good Christmas?
I did. Yourself?
Yeah, I did. It was a lot of fun.
Good. And here we are at the end of another year. The end of 2025 is upon us as we approach 2026. I don't want to do, we already did the show on Monday where Brent got us doing the look back on Bearcats, and that was depressing. A look back on the Bengals is probably equally depressing because who knows what would have happened if Joe Burrow, who, by the way, we'll get to the Bengals later on, but he was wearing Jordan cleats again. I could see him from where my seats were. We had really good seats. We were in the 6th row, but he's wearing Jordan cleats again. I don't know what that means. But I don't know if it's good or not.
You should keep him on the way he played.
Well, until
of course, he could play in anything. He could play in seriously. If you put him in work boots, he'd be fine out there.
We'll just never know what the season might have been. I can't imagine that it looks identical to where we're at right now if Joe Burrow does play. And that's not a knock on Joe Flacco. That is a knock on the backup they had before trading for Flacco.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. I wish the Bengals had, but they had
Browning is no good. That all said, though, George, let's start off talking about the Bearcats basketball team as they had a game. They played Lipscomb, the Lipscomb Bisons, and they win 89-62. I've given my thoughts on that game with Chad in the aftermath. What did you think in the blowout victory for your Bearcats?
Well, I think they hit the starting lineup right. I think that, and I like that. And those are the 5 guys I picked last week. And, Wes saying that those are the guys that he's seen play with an edge, practice with an edge. Yeah, I've seen it on the court for a while now with those guys. And so I'm glad he went that route. I'm glad Creasa came off the bench and shot it the way he did. Jizzle James continues to impress and played very, very well. He's got a well-rounded game right now the way he's playing, and I really like it. I like it a lot. I think obviously Baba Miller and his performance on the boards, but it's a little irritating that some of the other guys didn't have more rebounds, maybe because he was gobbling them all up. But I don't know how many times I sat there and thought, God, nobody really boxed out on that play. And then when they went to that zone thing for a minute there, I mean, the rebounding was, I think they gave up 2 offensive rebounds on the one possession. So they weren't very good at that other than Baba Miller. But it was an impressive win, a good win. They looked good, but when are they going to look good against somebody? And Lipscomb may make the tournament, but somebody who, and that's probably a better team than I'm giving them credit for. But somebody that you expect a decent game from, when are they going to win those games? When are you going to beat, Xavier or Georgia or Clemson or someone like that?
I can't answer that for you because it's funny. Chad and I were talking off air.
Horrible.
I don't think I'm saying too much here, but Chad and I were talking off air, and I asked him the same thing. I said, when are they going to start winning games that they're not supposed to win?
Yes,
because under Coach Wes Miller, that's not been a thing that they've been able to do really at all. And so I can't imagine you start to see that all of a sudden this year.
I would be shocked if we did. I mean, I hope, I think
sure.
everybody, but I would say that's about I give that about a 2% chance, or maybe less than 2% chance on my meter. I don't think there's any way it happens. I really don't.
You'd have to shoot the lights out.
Right. And that's something that got them going last night. Was they shot very well after that. What was it? An 8-1, 7-1 start. Lipscomb got off to, or whatever. And,
Yeah.
and then they heated up. And boy, you look a lot better when shots are going in. And unfortunately, outside of a couple of guys, they haven't shot the ball really very well at all, especially from three. I mean, when you look down the roster and the stats and, who's shooting decent from long range, there's only a couple guys doing it. Well, Jizzle is now that he's back as well, but you had Day and then who else? Celestine maybe, and that's not a real high clip. Right. I mean, that's it. Creasa now in 2 different games has done it, but the rest of the games. And so, yeah, I don't, you look a hell of a lot better when those shots are going in, but that just hasn't happened enough. And there's no reason to believe all of a sudden that switch will be flipped.
Well, trying to play optimist here because one of us has to. Baba nearly puts up a triple-double in this one. 11, 21, and 7. That's fantastic. Triple-double hasn't been done since Gary Clark. First 20-rebound game since Trey Scott. Good company to be being mentioned with. That said, you had 4 guys in double digits. Mustafa Cham leading the way with 18, ties a career high. Kirk Creasa with his 15. That might be as high as a Bearcat, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he had more than that in that game earlier this year. I feel like there was the other game he was hitting. I think it was a Sunday night game against maybe Mount St. Mary's. Was it that game? I can't remember.
Jizzle was 16 though, and Baba with the aforementioned 11. So 4 guys with double digits. Day at 8. He didn't really have to be the guy last night. He kind of let everybody else be the guy. I think that just points to him being a true leader on this team, not trying to take over a game just because he can, but simply letting everybody else eat. And I think that was good.
Yep.
That said, you kind of got the games that you expect out of guys. You out of some of your complementary pieces. Buck Harris with 7 and 3. You got Jalen Celestine with 6 and 4 on a 2 of 5 shooting night, which again, that's kind of what you expect out of him. Unfortunately, Sean Abayev is in a funk that he cannot figure out his way out of. You did have the change in the lineup where he was taken out as a starter, and he's trying to figure out what it is to be a role player. I'm not sure he's ever come off the bench in his life.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because I just felt like right around that Louisville game was probably time to really pull the reins on him. And maybe he should have been not starting then or right after that, and at least had time to kind of find himself and find a role. And it could have been as a starter again if he ever gets confidence back. But right now, I mean, I looked up some stuff on him, and 0 for 6 last night, 1 for 5 at Clemson, 3 for 11 Alabama State, 2 for 11 at Georgia. So that's 6 of his last 33. And he's shooting 34% from the field this year, 25% from 3, and 63% from the free throw line. Now, that's not a McDonald's All-American that can shoot the ball. Something's gotten off kilter. I don't know if he's lost his shot, lost his confidence, lost his feel. It looks like all 3 to me.
Maybe all of the above, right?
Yep.
So we'll see if he's able to figure some things out coming off the bench. Again, just a different place for him to be mentally and it's not as if it was terribly long before he checked in. He still logged 18 minutes. In those 18 minutes, though, 0 for 6, 0 for 3 from 3. You did at least see him not rely on the three-pointer, not rely on the fadeaway three-pointer trying to get 3 free throws. You saw him try and drive to the hoop. You saw him still doing some other things. He had 4 rebounds. You know, it's not as if he's just solely trying to shoot his way out behind the arc and still just chucking up an obscene amount of threes. Only 0 for 3 is an improvement, I guess, as it were. You still hope, of course, that he figures out just get one to fall and maybe they start falling.
I hope so. I hope it turns around for him because, I mean, it's in there. It looks like it's in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, he's got the tools. I really think he does. And you know, I thought he looked a lot better shooting the basketball earlier in the season. And I could be wrong. I just don't think he was trying all that floppy stuff then. And he probably was shooting too many threes from the get-go for my liking, but he looked a little better doing it, I thought then. And maybe the stats, you know, I'm way off, but that's just me watching and how I felt about him as this season has gone along, because I was really excited what I saw early. I thought he's going to end up being, and I still think he can and probably will end up being a terrific player, but I just hope it happens sooner because, you know, after a season like this, how long is he going to be at UC? I mean, players just hit the road, Jack, if they don't find success pretty quickly.
Well, that'll be a question we have to answer far later on in this season.
I got ahead of myself there, but it's that's just big picture kind of, you know, what I think about and worry about and you know, and I don't want to be all doom and gloom because I thought they moved the ball better last night. They took
agree.
care of it better. They got lucky a couple times, and Buck Harris had that one pass on the breaker. I don't know what the heck was going on. He's a little careless. I mean, he's just reckless in transition. Let's just call it what it is. I mean, I love his edge. I'm glad he's starting. I think he's earned it. And I think there's a place for that edge and all that. But, man, when you're out on the – and I know he wants to go 110 miles an hour, but he's just got to slow down a little bit at times where his team has the advantage, but because of the recklessness, you don't take advantage of that advantage.
Are you talking about the layup alley-oop he caught and tried to get up?
No,
that wasn't good either.
It was right. No, there were some. That's the thing. There's a few of those every game, and you're like, what the heck is he doing? Take care of the ball and don't try to do. And I mean, he'll just go barreling in, but he sets a tone defensively that I think they need, and I think that's good that he's there from the jump to do that.
Well, I'm glad you bring a big picture because I'm with you. I think that they moved better in transition last night. They moved better pace. And I think so much of that has to do with the fact that Jizzle James is in this lineup, because as you're looking ahead towards the conference, and it seems like it was 2 weeks ago that it was Baba Miller coming off of injury and Day Thomas. And what else do you have?
Right.
And now all of a sudden, as you are looking at Houston being next on the slate, you have Baba Miller still playing really, really high-level basketball. You have Day Thomas, who we saw him against Clemson be a big part of that comeback against Clemson, even though you weren't able to finish the comeback. Let me at least say that. But you have Jizzle James, who's contributing at a very efficient level right now, which that's something that's
he's been since he's been here.
That's something new. And I enjoy this new look, Jizzle James.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, he moves the ball well. It's not just dribbling until you got to throw up a prayer.
Well, the first couple minutes, he was part of that first 3 minutes where you were down 7-1, and he did do one of those where he dribbled it for a while and then took an 18-footer, and then we didn't see that Jizzle James again the rest of the game.
No, and I don't know if he did that on his own or someone on the pitch said, dude, this year's Jizzle, please.
Yeah.
But it's a small sample. I think it's in there. I think he can keep it up. I'm excited about it. But it is a small sample. But if he keeps playing like this, and very unselfish, and I don't think he was ever selfish when he played before, but
it's almost
better. It's quicker passes and just something's different.
It was almost out of necessity that he shot as much as he did last year, because if it wasn't him or Day, who else was shooting well?
Yeah, as the season went on, you're right. But that's a bad habit, and
sure,
especially on a there's a lot of guys with talent on this team, and I know it doesn't look like it with the record, but they spread the ball around a lot last night. And Creasa brought that up, I think, after the game. He said, I forget how many guys had, at least 5 shots. And
nine guys had 5 shots.
That's sharing the ball, man. That's moving it around and getting it to guys, when they're open and have a shot to take. Unless you're the freshman, he'll shoot at any time. But they did a really good job with finding the guy who had the best shot. And, sometimes you pass up a good shot for a better shot. And I think they did that last night.
Well, the last piece that I wanted to mention that's probably playing his best ball all season, 2 games in a row now, Mustafa Cham has come on offensively. He's been I know it took him – he had 16 of his 18 in the second half yesterday, but he's now stacked 2 games back-to-back where he's had good offensive numbers. He's not been timid, not afraid to ask for the ball while he's in the post down low. I don't know how efficient he's going to be against Houston and their bigs because depending on who he's matched up with, whether it's the freshman there, what is it, Selleck or Selleck
or something like that.
And Tugler, whoever he's matched up against, Baba, I'm assuming will get the other matchup, and they're both playing really well. So we'll see what Mustafa Cham's able to do. But again, you at least have different pieces that are starting to play well. I'm not ready to lump Kerr Kriisa in one of those pieces playing well. You've done it for one game. Let's see you stack some games back to back before we're able to say that you're a dangerous part of this offense. But you're starting to see some different guys play well, and it seems to have been sparked by bringing back Chisel James. So what does that look like for conference play when right now you're 15th in overall record and right there tied with Utah?
I mean, look at 6 Big 12 teams have like 1 loss or none, 6 of them in non-conference this season. I mean, that's stacked. That is stacked. Arizona, Iowa State are the 2 that don't have a loss. And then you look at, Houston and BYU, it's like, come on. Like, how loaded is this conference? And it is. It's going to be tough for UC. I mean, obviously, they got to play a hell of a lot better. And last night and the game, before, was that a start? I don't know. I hope so, but I'm not banking on it.
Well, time will tell as far as that goes, but I think Chad said
weird though with Houston, and I didn't realize this. I was looking at it today. This is some of this crap I told you I went down rabbit holes. But this is their first true road game.
Wow.
Everything has been neutral or home for them. This is their first true game on the road, which surprised me. Usually you mix one of those in somewhere to go through that, but yeah, I was surprised by that too.
Houston
I kept looking at it going, I can't believe, but yeah, that's what I saw.
Unfortunately, Houston's coming off a game where they only beat, what was it, Mid-Tennessee State? Yeah, Middle Tennessee State, 69-60, and Kelvin Sampson said that they got out-hustled. They got, you name whatever adjective you want to say, they got outplayed, out-hustled, out whatever. He said it in his press conference. It's not really, you don't want to be the first team after a Kelvin Sampson team wins a game that way. Unfortunately, that's where we are, right in the crosshairs. I don't feel great about it. I guess
I know he didn't want to lose that game, but I guarantee you the way these coaches and how sadistic they are, he was probably already thinking of crap for them to do when he was walking off the court, and was probably happy that he had that hammer to use going into conference play.
And I guess Ken Palm has us. I think Chad said 70-63. I can't imagine. I can't imagine.
I'll tell you what, that would be better than I expect. And
sure,
as we alluded to earlier, they have not found a way, unless maybe it happened in the second half at Clemson, to play good against good teams, or even play good against average teams. Because, how do you explain Eastern Michigan? Quite honestly, how do you explain the game at Cintas Center against that? I mean, that they should be better than that team. They have more talent than that team.
Which begs the question, as you look even bigger picture than just Houston, how do you feel about Cincinnati now going into conference play?
Well, at least I have a thread of hope that it's going to be more than the 3 to 5 wins that I said last week. But man, then when you look at the teams in the conference and how they're playing, but they get past Houston, get out of that game, play well. Then you got a game, I believe, at West Virginia, right? Tuesday. That's potentially a game they should be in. So we'll see if they can play like they did last night. They took care of the ball. Now it was Lipscomb, but still not a bad team. Could be a tournament team, but I think 8 turnovers. I don't think Kreese had a turnover, and he played a number of minutes. And there were a couple times I thought he was going to do it where he did these goofy-looking passes, but they found it hard.
He did not.
Did he have any?
Nope.
Yeah. And that's an improvement in his game. So we'll see if they can all keep that up and take a little better care of the ball and get those starters out there to set the tone. And they didn't really last night. But I still think, that lineup is the best lineup to start with and play hard. And that's what you want. They got to play hard. And you talked about Chom and his game. It's a little weird because we expect him to have those inside post moves and stuff, but the dude's better if he just is 5 feet away and hoists it up there. He's converting.
I agree. So I feel like we've seen improvement since Jizzle has been part of this team. I still don't know that I'm ready to move them any much higher than 3 to 5.
That's where I'm at. I mean, I'm hopeful that it'll be better than that. And I do have some threads of hope. I said a thread, but I probably got 2 or 3 threads of hope that it will be better than that. And I can't see them having a winning record in conference, and that's what it's going to take to salvage this season.
Yeah, well, we'll be holding our breath and waiting to see what team shows up on Saturday at 2:00.
How great am I at planning? Now, part of this was because my moving crew thought they might still be hungover on Friday, so they chose Saturday instead of Friday. But my moving truck showing up Saturday morning, and we got the Houston game and the bowl game. And I'm going to be watching guys lug boxes. That goes in the kitchen. Take that down. Say this goes in the garage. I mean, I can't plan worth a nickel.
Well,
don't put me in charge of any projects.
That's a you problem, George.
That's a you problem. And I didn't even realize it till this past weekend what I agreed to.
Well, the beauty of streaming, George, is that you can go back and rewatch these games.
Yeah, I know.
If you miss something,
if the cable guy shows up when he's supposed to, I mean, I got issues, man. I got all kinds. I wanted to make this seamless, and it's not going to be.
If you've got an iPad, you should be fine.
Yeah, that's true.
You should be fine.
But then I gotta have Wi-Fi and internet.
Look, man.
I'll be now. We're down to my phone because I only have one of those internet iPads. I was too cheap to get the one that runs off the phone stuff.
Frugal, deciduous.
Yeah.
Anyway, we do have a bowl game, as you alluded to, coming up in just 3 days, as Cincinnati plays the Navy Midshipmen on Tuesday. No, that's wrong. Not Tuesday. What day is it now?
What are you looking for?
The bowl game. Friday. My days are all messed up with the holidays. It's fine. 4:30. You have kickoff.
Right?
Friday.
I hope you're right.
Right here on the app.
All right. Why did I think Saturday?
Because you're all messed up, George. Friday, 4:30. January 2nd, kickoff.
Oh,
Liberty
yeah.
Bowl.
I keep thinking Friday's the 1st because I wanted to move the 2nd.
Liberty Bowl.
And the mover said they'd still be hungover.
Well,
I got to hire better movers, but the proprietor of Remington Tavern turned me on to this crew.
If if the game goes the way that Vegas is looking at it, you might be hungover on Saturday. But Navy -7 in a game that has swung 13.5 points towards Navy since the book opened on it. Brady Lichtenberg is going to get the start. We found out today Evan Pryor will not be playing in this game. He is entering the portal. So you've got two running backs really that have any type of experience on this team in Manny Covey and Zion Johnson. Outside of that, most of your offensive power is back. We discussed that last week. I don't know. There's a whole lot more to discuss this week. Evan Pryor is really the only difference.
I'm glad though to see that we'll see a lot out of Covey and Johnson. I want to see the dude from Avon too, Ja'Cory and Caffey. I want to I hope to see some of him. I mean, I think he's got some promise. So I want to see that. I want to see Lichtenberg get his moment and hopefully play well. Hopefully play very well. And hopefully Samaj gets in there and gets some meaningful snaps, and we get a good look at him. I mean, in some ways, it's actually in all ways, it's probably better Sorsby leaves if he's leaving anyway and doesn't play in this game.
Sure. I kind of feel the same way about the defensive backfield. A lot of the guys that are going to be gone. I don't know that there's many guys that are going to be here next year. I'm sorry, that are going to be gone next year. That are going to be playing. So we get to see a whole flushed out backfield and maybe George, you see an interception against Navy. Who knows how many times they throw?
There's probably not. And that's one of the weird stats of the game when you bring that up, like how much they run and how little they throw. Like number one, when they do throw, it's crazy. They've got I think they're like second in the country behind Air Force because they do the same stuff. Like average yards per catch is like 16 or something.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's so weird. And so UC and Navy are somewhere. I think they're tied for first in fewest tackles for loss allowed per game because Navy's never behind the line of scrimmage, basically. Right? And UC didn't give up many sacks. So that's kind of crazy that this game has those two teams, just weird stuff like that.
Well, maybe the defensive backfield that is going to be playing on Friday hasn't had the head swivel trained out of them because
yes.
I'd love to see somebody trying to play the ball instead of trying to play the receiver and hoping that they just flail an arm to break up a pass.
Right. That's not how it works. That's not how, occasionally you see an NFL guy do that, but that's out of desperation because they got burnt. It's not every pass play. And that feels like certainly anything over the top. It's been that way for 3 years.
Well, any last thoughts on that game?
One quick one about the defense and we're guessing, and maybe somebody's covered this, that kind of 3-4 looking thing they're going to throw out there against Navy with them running. Could that be, something hopefully we see more of? Because one of those rabbit holes I went down the day I was telling you about was like positions and what they're worth in college and what they get money-wise and all that. So, like, the cheapest thing basically on that side of the ball is linebackers. So why wouldn't you have more of them than than defensive line? You know what I'm saying? A little money ball thing. So, but I still think the best is like a 3-4-4-3 kind of a hybrid thing that you can work with. But the problem is those edge guys are expensive. But I don't know. It's just going to be interesting to see them play this way and just see if I like it better than, and I'm pretty sure I will, than what I saw this past season. Right.
I agree, George.
You got to have disruption up there, man. You just do.
It's hard to have havoc when you're running a 3-3-5.
It seems like it. At least the way they ran it, it is.
Well, you have to have to your point. You have to have the edge guys who are disruptors.
3 guys on that Navy coaching staff played high school football in Cincinnati. 2 at Elder and 1 at Winton Woods, which is kind of weird.
That is.
Actually, I know. I didn't know that. So I was looking down their notes today, and it's like, dang. Now I'm trying to remember if I ever interviewed those kids in high school. I can't say for sure, but I may have.
Well, Cincinnati's got their own coach who coached for Army in Court Braswell. So I guess if you're going to have one defensively, that's probably where you want to have a coach who's coached over on that staff before.
Yep, that's true.
So we'll find out.
Friday. God, I feel better now. I'm going to be able to catch some of that, I think.
Just a couple days away, and we'll be able to see what happens. But in any case, one last topic here tonight. Kind of probably going to be a short episode here. But the Bengals do beat the Cardinals 37-14. As I mentioned, I was at that game. We took our boys, the 15 and 10-year-old, to their first NFL games. We were in the 6th row. It was a Christmas present. We were able to get great tickets for not a terrible price. We were at like the 20-yard line. It's not even in an end zone where you only get to see the action half the game. But it was fun. It was not the most electric of atmospheres, as you can imagine, but it was a fun experience. Got to see the Cody Ford special as he gets a catch on his birthday, damn near gets a touchdown. The crowd was chanting for him to get more, and he comes in at fullback, doesn't get the touch, but wasn't able to punch it in, unfortunately.
Did the kids become Bengals fans going to this game and seeing them rolling up like that?
Our 15-year-old, he's a Chiefs fan. There was no converting him. He's not going to happen, which is funny because we live out in Athens, and Joe Burrow is right from Athens.
Right.
He's still big Chiefs fan. The other one, we might maybe I wish that upon no one, but if that's
I get it.
If that's the path he chooses, so be it. I'll be there to support him and hug him after all the failures.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for browbeating my kids into being Bengals fans, and now they're just actually, though, maybe I'll get the last laugh. They can have the same miserable NFL life I've had.
We did get to see Joe Burrow, though. He goes over 300 with 2 touchdowns. He played outstanding. Got to see Joe Flacco come in garbage time, so that was fun. I saw afterwards there was a clip that went out where he apparently froze on the sidelines just smiling. It was a really weird video of Joe Flacco just sitting there next to Joe Burrow, and he's just looking at him smiling, and it looked as if he just glitched and just kept smiling and didn't move. It was just the strangest little video. Chase Brown, though, had a great game, 22 carries, 101 yards, 2 touchdowns. I know Ben Baby ended up writing an article about do the Bengals need to make sure they re-sign him, extend his contract here in the offseason. I don't think re-signing is even necessarily on the table. I think he's still got some time left on his contract. But
right. But I would be talking. I mean,
sure.
And a lot of this and what we just talked about, and you brought up Cody Ford, offensive lineman. The offensive line has played pretty well. I wish they'd done this against the Ravens, but they have played very well here and have gotten Chase Brown going. And it too little, too late, but what little it is looks really, really good on the field. And they're playing. I mean, the Cardinals are a disgrace. I thought it was that 8 straight losses or something. And it's interesting. People are like livid and talking about how can Zach Taylor keep his job, but Gannon's probably going to keep his job in Arizona. And this has been a debacle, but it's not his fault. Some of the things that happened to him with injuries and, not having a quarterback that can do what they're supposed to do.
The Kyler Murray contract is definitely not his fault.
No. And man, that's boy, I'll tell you what, that's where the Bengals are so lucky, and they got to take advantage of this, because none of those guys are guaranteed. And, he looked like when he came out and first started playing, this guy was going to be a keeper deluxe. And you just, Deshaun Watson, the same thing. And it's just things go south, and you're screwed as a franchise when you have one of those, what you thought was a franchise guy, and this happens.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm not worried about the Arizona Cardinals and what they do. That at the end of the day, I mean, you talk about the offensive line, and how do you have to, I think, figure out Dalton Risner this offseason. I don't know that you can't bring him back.
Yeah, I mean, you bring him back and try to find another one, right?
Well, Dylan Fairchild's been playing well enough on the other side.
Maybe not as a starter, but you can't just say, okay, our offensive line's playing well, we'll bring everyone.
No.
I mean, they got to. I mean, I still think they need to definitely add some depth there. I would say, but the focus has got to be on that defensive side of the ball.
I agree, and I think that's where you found yourself. It seems Dalton Risner likes being here. Risner, it seems like he likes being here.
I would keep him. I would find a way to keep him, and then you're going to go find somebody else, hopefully in that range. But you just, they're so much better on that offensive line's playing well. That's why, I mean, to me, that's a lot of the reason Chase Brown all of a sudden is, looking like a guy you got to resign, because you got some offensive linemen that are finally doing things that they were expected to do all season.
Well, it probably doesn't hurt that you don't have Jake Browning behind center and whatever you're getting out of Joe Flacco.
Yeah, I mean, that's so unfortunate, because I was sold on him as a backup based on what he had done 2 years ago. I thought, you don't expect them to get worse or things to fall apart. But my God, once he got rattled, it was all over, man. I was at the Minnesota game when they just got destroyed, and it was a disaster from that point.
Bad.
Yeah.
Yep. So I don't know. We'll see what they do. I know I'll be okay if Geno Stone never plays another snap for the Bengals after this year. That tackle that he did not make on the Cardinals touchdown, where he just throws his shoulder into a guy. What are we doing there?
So I said they have to focus on the defense and all. They really, really do. The unfortunate thing about these wins coming when they are now instead of losses is, they're playing themselves out of the safety from Ohio State, because I don't want to take safeties that high, but God dang it, they're pretty darn valuable. And I've seen what they've meant to the Bengals. And, I argue with guys all the time who aren't fans of the kid that played at Purdue and daggone it, or Wake Forest. Went to the Falcons.
Jesse Bates. Yes. Jesse Bates the third.
I mean, look what happened after he left. And they kind of held serve a little bit there, with Von Bell. But, man, it's made a world of difference in that entire defensive backfield as far as I'm concerned.
You've spent almost the same amount of money, if not more, trying to fill the position since he's been gone.
Yeah,
to get him to stay.
Grew up, and it wasn't like the other players weren't telling them, hey, you kind of need this captain back there. And so if they could play their way into getting that kid, I would take him in a heartbeat, because they need something. They need a force there. And I'm with you. They got to make a change. They can't bring back the same deal. Now, Battle looks like he's, a guy that can
play well.
Yeah.
Jordan Battle's been playing well.
But they've got some things they have to repair there. And hopefully where they draft, like, they're going to have to find another edge guy, because I think Hendrickson's going to be gone. I don't know if Shamar Stewart's played better Sunday, and is showing some potential promise. Obviously, Miles Murphy.
Miles Murphy,
Right.
finally looking like a first
But you
round pick.
yeah, I mean, they gotta get another one. And it may be that the safety's gone, but there may be some edge guys there they can get.
Well,
Could be
at the
some
end of the day,
linebackers because I'm not convinced that's fixed.
no, I agree. I think that you have to do all of those things, but you should have a ton of money freed up between Trey Hendrickson and Geno Stone being gone.
Yep.
We don't know what they're going to do with Dax Hill. That should be an interesting thing to see, whether you bring him back or let him hit free agency.
I'll tell you what, I don't know. I don't know what the market will be, but he's played well at corner.
I understand. I thought he had a good game again against Arizona. I think he's been more than serviceable.
Yeah,
I think he's been one. I won't say necessarily a bright spot, but a bright enough spot on this defense that he's not been a liability.
Right, he's not the problem.
Right. So I think you have to think long and hard about that one, because I don't know that you're necessarily going to draft a guy at corner and have him come in and pick up where Dax Hill left off. You're still going to have free agency. I think free agency might be where you dip into maybe a linebacker, like a veteran linebacker, not necessarily top tier, because I don't think they're going to make any big, splashy, sexy moves at anything in the first day or two.
I hope you're wrong.
I agree. I hope I'm wrong too. But
it's 10 years where they have jumped in and surprised me. So they're starting to get me to where there is a real need, and you need that they will jump in with somebody.
Safety, edge, and linebacker all definitely needs.
I mean, I would love to see them go grab a good one, and I mean a damn good one.
You just don't want to be in a spot where you're drafting for need, especially in middle of the first round,
right,
as opposed to drafting best player available throughout the draft.
Yeah, and that's the way you really have to do it. Sometimes it's crying, and maybe need dictates that you take a guy over someone else you might like a little better, but you're stacked at that position. But you don't want to deviate too far from your big board, you know.
I agree.
Especially once the draft plays on, then you're asking for trouble when you do that.
We're on the same page then, George. So I don't know. We'll certainly in the offseason have far more to break down as far as draft needs, free agency, all that goes.
Here's something that jumped in my head this afternoon that you're going to love, or think you're going to really know I'm a nerd and an idiot on this one. Would you, if you're the Bengals, and I don't think Flacco would allow it to happen, I don't think Burrow would give a shit, would you let Flacco take the first snap of the game, and then he started at quarterback for the Browns against the Bengals, and then would technically start for the Bengals against the Browns in the same season? I'm not sure that's ever happened in the NFL.
If it's never happened and it's a fun little storyline, why not? I mean, they let Cody Ford
hand off to Chase Brown anyway.
Well, they threw Cody Ford out there on his birthday simply because it was his birthday to go catch a pass.
Funny, because I know guys have started against their former team and that kind of stuff after a trade at quarterback, but to start for Team A against Team B in game one, and then in the next one you start for Team B against Team A, I can't believe that's ever happened.
I don't know.
I mean, it's weird that somebody gets traded to a team that they would face later on in the season anyway, especially if you've already played them once. It's either they're in your division, which nobody ever trades a quarterback within the division unless you're the Cleveland Browns, or you see them in the playoffs. Well, so in a regular season, I can't believe that's ever happened.
We've seen stranger things happen after trades. I mean, Sauce Gardner became the first player who went 1-7 before a trade, and then 1-7 after a trade.
That is nuts.
Crazy.
I would never have imagined the Colts after making that deal. And it's like, damn, they got an injury and they got the best guy out there. Yeah. They are going to roll. And then it goes as south as it can go. Shocking. So South, they brought back a grandpa to play quarterback.
You might be more in shape than Phillip Rivers right now.
I would bet on Phillip Rivers.
He's got a better arm, but I'm not certain that
he ran a little bit. That was so funny. He outrun my ass right now. I guarantee it. That's sad.
He looked like the hefty lefty out there.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Oh my God, he was fun to watch.
R.I.P. In any case, like I said, we'll have plenty more to break down in the offseason once we get there. One more game left. The Bengals sit at 6-10. We'll see if they're able to improve to 7-10. I don't know that I want it, but Cleveland Browns did beat the Steelers last week. So,
oh my God, this Sunday night game, Steelers and Ravens, must see TV
for all the marbles.
And if my cable guy doesn't show up, I guess I'm going to probably have to go somewhere and watch it.
Is Lamar going to play?
We don't know. We'll get more info tomorrow when we get those practice reports and injury reports, but nobody seems to know. At least they've gotten smart enough to get Derrick Henry back involved in the offense.
They did.
And I like John Harbaugh, but it's like, man, what the hell was going on there? Maybe he was dinged up and we didn't know it. I don't know. But, boy, he's a moose.
What a shitty conference it's been this year, as you may see a conference winner sitting at 9-7, or I guess 9-8. You may see 10 wins. Who knows? We'll see how it goes down.
Well, yeah. You might see 8-9 do it again in the NFC South, too.
Ugh.
That's a messed up situation. So I want the Saints to win. If the Saints beat Atlanta, then Tampa Bay, Carolina becomes a win and in scenario. But if the Falcons win, then the Panthers are in no matter what happens in that game. So the Falcons need to lose. And I usually root for the Falcons, especially when they had Dez. But I don't know. I want to see the two win and get in situations. Those are just, it's great, great drama, great theater.
And those are the only two conferences that don't currently have a winner. So,
yeah, there's only one playoff spot open in each conference, and it's all because the divisions involved are so crappy. They haven't figured out a winner yet. Nobody has a winning record, basically. Well, I guess.
All right, what you got going on in high school basketball, George?
Teams are scooting along that you expect. Lakota West is still undefeated and doing well. I saw some holiday tournament stuff out of town. I want to say Moeller lost a game. LaSalle's played well. They're not in the conference tournament. Who else? Beechwood lost for the first time here recently in a holiday tournament. I think Highlands is still on. Holy Cross lost too for the first time in Northern Kentucky in one of those holiday tournaments. But they'll be hitting it and getting it here for the next, after New Year's. They'll be into the regular, Tuesday, Saturday, or Tuesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. They'll get a bunch of games in and then crank up that tournament in late February.
Well, plenty of basketball season left to play. We'll see what happens. But I know we have plenty of time left. It would be.
Oh, do you want to fill the time? I thought you were trying to get out of here, so I was brief.
No, I'm not. No, you're fine. I'm not worried about one way or the other. I was going to say I could bring up what your thoughts were on guys being drafted to the NBA and still being added to. I already know the answer for how.
I don't know what's going on. In college sports. I mean, is it? Well, it's not college sports, but is it like a? It's like, I don't know. It's a minor league, is what it is. It's a minor league. We know that it has been for a long time, but it's a little different now. where guys can be sent back to the minors. I mean, I don't get this. I'm not understanding what the heck is going on. It's like, you know, boy, I'm not saying it's all bad, but boy, they got to get a handle on this stuff. This is ridiculous.
You need collective bargaining. It's
Yes,
well
without
overdue.
a doubt. That's the only way that all this is going to get settled down into a landscape that people know what's going on. I read a really lengthy article, maybe you did too. It was on ESPN's website, maybe yesterday, about the dude from Texas Tech, the Cody Campbell guy. And it was a pretty good article. I mean, like nothing really new in there, but however, it just encapsulates like what's going on. And he's very in tune with it. And he's all about a CBA for the, he's like that. And the points are valid. They're very, and coaches say that too. I mean, there's coaches, ADs, and this may have been, I think it was unnamed sources. It was, you know, they spoke to several college GMs, boosters, AD, you name it. They had it all covered, and they all said the same thing. That's what's got to happen to get this thing to where it's at least you know what the rules are.
Well, coaches don't even know what the rules are anymore.
No, not at all. I was looking at Coach Satterfield that first news conference after Sorsby declared for the pro, and the way if that didn't look like, I mean, he admit it's like you know, we don't have the money for him. Obviously, somebody does. I get what's going on, but and he talked about how much it changed in the last 5 years, and he goes 3 years, and he's like, heck, 2 years, it's changed a lot. They don't know from the time they wake up to the time that the sun goes down what's going to happen, and nobody does, and that's a problem.
It's a mess, and it's not going to get fixed.
Aaron, I was looking on the 24/7 website about the portals and you know who's publicly said there's. I mean, my God, I didn't even get through the whole list of quarterbacks. I mean, it's over 100. There's got to be thousands in the portal, and it's going to be a 2-week period. Now, a lot of those deals are already in place, I'm sure, but it's nuts.
When you look at college basketball in particular, how many kids coming out of high school is this going to affect to where you just don't even get looked at because you're bringing in these semi-professionals from overseas, from the G League, from wherever we're at this point now. I don't even know.
Yeah, there's going to be a couple classes that probably get it'll be like the COVID year where they just get lost in the wash like those kids were during the COVID year. And, you know, kids didn't have a chance to play their senior baseball season and get drafted or get a scholarship, or it's like that's how it's going to be, and it's going to be. I think eventually they'll get a handle on this. They have to.
Well, and nobody's gonna graduate anymore because you're going to 4 schools in 4 years, and where are you
sad too? I mean, the whole thing. It saddens me. It's bad enough with the way the athletes have kind of been separated, and you know they get to live in a Taj Mahal, and the students are over here in some, you know, hoping to get a fan in their window in spring quarter or semester. I mean, they separate it now. They don't even go to class now. A lot of kids don't, but man, I can't imagine my college experience and how less it would have been if I didn't go in classrooms with kids and be walking from one side of campus to the other and seeing some guy that, you know, knocked me out at the frat party the other night, or, you know, it just, it's a whole college experience. And I think these athletes are going to miss it. And I think the kids will when it all gets online. But yeah, there we go. He didn't have AC. He knows what I'm talking about. No, but it's a great experience, and going to class and continuing that when you're turning into an adult. Because I was nowhere close in high school to being an adult, but it was just such a fun time, and they're going to miss out on a lot. I mean, I know they're going to be doing other things, but I don't think it's going to be as enriching and valuable as going to a brick and mortar classroom and sitting there with the other kids and having to pass a test and do things like that. Boy, if that isn't an old man yelling at the clouds, but it was just a great experience. It was a great, I'm sad for these kids. It was a great experience. And I'm sad that there we go. Everyone you see now sits in a doctor anywhere. And it's like this and this and that. No one interacts anymore. It drives me insane. It's like, I purposely don't do that so I can sit around and look at people. And, if I see someone, hey, how you doing? Whatever. I mean, I don't bug people, but I'm not sticking my nose in my phone either.
My 3-year-old daughter had all of the toddlers at the doctor's office today. They were all playing Floor is Lava.
Together?
Yes, all of them together. There was like four toddlers running around playing Floor is Lava together. My daughter being the ringleader. It was hilarious.
That's great.
Plenty of interaction. No screens.
That's what. Yes.
But I don't know. I'm curious to see what the graduation rates look like here in the next couple of years. You can't transfer those transferring credits is not easy.
How that works either, right?
It's not easy. So I don't know how they're getting all these.
Definitely difficult, right?
I don't know how you transfer 4 times and have any. You're still going to be a sophomore, credit wise.
I'll tell you what. With the money I saw they're making, though, some of these kids could be set for damn near life when they get out of college.
If you're smart with your money.
I mean,
Odell Beckham made $100 million, George, and he's broke.
There's a lot of that too that I can't. Whew.
So I don't know. We'll see. I didn't mean to get you. I didn't purposely mean. I knew you were going to end up there, but I didn't. I didn't intentionally throw this in there to make you go
water. You knew exactly.
I didn't mean to make you go old man yelling at cloud.
Oh my God, it was funny. It does sadden me. I really hope. And look, I spent all day looking at the screen. I kept reading and just, but there's a time and a place for it. And there's also, I'll be out doing stuff tomorrow. Next week, I'll be playing golf for 3 days in Florida. So I won't be anywhere near a screen on those days. I'll be closer to aluminum cans and probably alligators looking for balls down by the lake.
Probably. Well, if there's any way for us to have finished out the year 2025, I feel like that's pretty on brand for us, George.
Yeah, we were going to go about 40 minutes, and then here we are going long. Thanks, Aaron.
And old man yelling at cloud. It's fun.
Yes, you did.
That's going to wrap things up for our 2025 for us here at George in the Jungle. We, of course, will be back next week. But thanks to Cincy Light for sponsoring the studios. Thanks to Remington Tavern for sponsoring the show. 8892 Glendale Milford Road is where you can find Remington Tavern 45140, where they have their daily happy hour from 3 to 7 p.m. $5 bourbon whiskey Wednesdays, bottle cap bonanza Thursdays from 7 to 9 p.m. You can check them out on Instagram at Remington Cincy or follow them on Facebook. But for George Vogel, I'm Aaron Smith. Happy New Year here tomorrow night at midnight. But we'll be back next Tuesday. George, he'll be elsewhere, but we'll see who we got filling in on Tuesday at 9 o'clock back here on this channel to discuss all of your Cincinnati sports.
Thank you, Aaron.